Hello beautiful peeps of YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kat and you're watching Planning Calm. And here in this channel I love to share with you all the many ways I can help you plan your way to calm and plan a calmer life. I am going to be doing probably one of my most requested videos that I get on this channel. It is how do you improve your handwriting? And I am no genius or whiz or anything like that. I just want to share my tips. I kind of looked at my journey of my handwriting and looked at the history of my handwriting and thought I'd come up with 10 tips. So 10 tips to help improve your handwriting that really worked for me. And I thought I would share them with you because I thought it'd be helpful with you. So let's dive in. So in front of me, I have my tried and true composite notebook. This is a dollar store find. You can get them anywhere. I have a ton of these and I like to use them for such purposes. Even to this day, I love to handwrite. Handwriting for me is it's one of the many practices I use to stay calm. I'm a naturally high-strung person. I always have been. That means I get wired easily by the littlest things that would normally just kind of roll off your back. But handwriting is just one of the many ways that brings me calm and joy. So one of the first things I do when I'm trying to improve my handwriting, tip number one, is to start with the basics. And that is to sit up and to have a really good posture and a firm grip on your pen. And so right now I'm kind of slunched over, so I'm going to get into position. I'm going to sit up. I'm going to make sure that I'm sitting up straight with my feet flat on the floor, and I just want to relax. I just want to relax, and I want to hold the pen, whatever pen you use, and we're going to talk about pens in a second, but just lightly, just light to the touch. You're not trying to grip it here. And I used to do that all throughout university, like when I was in my undergrad, and I developed such bad hand cramps, but now it's all about a light touch. So that's my first tip. Check your posture and check your grip. My second tip is the right pen. Now, these are my pen of choice right now, and that is the Sharpie. I love Sharpies. Love Sharpies. I don't think there's a Sharpie I've met that I haven't liked, but these are my current favorites. They are the Sharpie pen. I actually saved the package to show you because I get a lot of questions about these, and it's the Sharpie pen, the felt tip, and a 0.4 millimeter fine ink in black. I have these in all the colors and I love these. I continue to buy them time and time again. And I used to love the micron ones, but I just find number one, they're extremely expensive and they're just really difficult to find. But these ones are a good one too, if you can find a thicker tip. But yeah, so choose the right pen. Find a pen that feels comfortable to write with. Many people prefer pens with smooth ink or gel pens that helps to flow. Some people like fountain pens. It really doesn't matter, but it's really about finding the right pen to make you feel comfortable when you're writing and to make your writing easier. My next tip is to slow down. Take your time when writing, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just going to pop in the back of this book here just to showcase some things. I hope you can see okay. And, you know, a lot of times when people try to practice their writing, they do it so fast, and it's like, you know, oh my goodness, I got to write. And you don't have to. You don't have to do it fast. When you're practicing, you can do it slow. So, you know, just take your time. Make sure you have the right grip, the right pressure, okay? And just take your time. And everybody, I find, has a writing signature. And what's yours? You know, you find your own writing signature, and you can't do that unless you kind of slow things down a little bit. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, tip number 4, is to practice a consistent letter formation. And I'm going to walk you through that, okay? So when it comes to, you know, the letters that you choose, I say when you're starting off trying to improve your handwriting, start off bigger. It just helps. That's what I've always done. So, you know, you have like a regular notebook paper here, and you have the lines. I start off, when I'm practicing my writing, start off with 3 lines, working in 3 lines. And then you can work in 2 lines, and then you can do it 1, and then it just makes writing a lot easier. But this is how I did it. Just slow down, okay? Practice your formation. And it doesn't have to be perfect at first, but just try. And everybody has kind of their own style of writing letters down, and that's okay. Okay, here, so A, B, C, D, E, and F, okay? And then once you've started that, once you've done that, and you've kind of worked on the spacing of things, then you can kind of break it down a little bit. And then you can go, okay, just like that. And then again, okay, and there. So for me, I always like to use the alphabet line. And I've done this in different languages and things too when I'm practicing. It just helps because it helps you get the formation of every letter. I know sometimes there's the quick brown fox likes to jump around the block, or whatever that saying is, and people use that to practice. But I like this method because I get all the letter practices I can. So that's my tip. Tip number 6 is kind of obvious, and we're doing that right now, and that's to use lined paper. Sometimes when you practice, you want to practice on, some people practice on like blank paper, and although that's great in a lot of ways because it lets you freehand and free flow, but lined paper is best. Using lined paper just really helps you to just, make sure that you are working on your spacing and that it keeps your letters more uniform and more kind of in line. So lines, you can just make sure you follow the lines as you're writing, and you can kind of stay with it. Okay, so tip number 6 is to use lined paper. Tip number 7 is to practice. Now, what I like to do, and again, I've been doing this for years. My mother was big into handwriting, and she really instilled within me, how to handwrite, the proper handwriting. My mother was Jamaican, and it was common practice when she was growing up in Jamaica that you have, really good handwriting. So that was something that was instilled in me as a child, and we would practice our handwriting together. My friends and I, we would practice our handwriting together when I was little, and so it's always stuck with me. So what I always like to do was do repetitive drills, which is my 7th tip for you. So practice drills. So basically doing drills on either specific letters or letter combinations that you have struggled, that you have problems with. This helps to build muscle memory, and it helps to, just help you practice better so that you can make the letters better. So for instance, this letter combination always trips me up because S's are, some of the most difficult letters. My muscles, it takes me a while to get the flow of the S. So S's always look kind of weird in my opinion. So that's the letter I like to practice the most, or one of the letters I like to practice the most. And so I like to write these combinations when I'm practicing because it just helps. Now, like that. And again, just using the lines to help guide me. I have a nice flow, not working too fast. Again, we're practicing here. So, it's okay to take your time, not to rush through it, and just have fun with it. I like to do this when I'm watching TV, when I'm, just sipping on some tea, which is what I love to do. And this is one of my favorite teas. This is the Bengal Spice from Traditional Municipals, I believe, but delicious. Delicious. And so yeah, I just, on this wintry, snowy, cold day, just sitting up in my office, just relaxing and, having a grand time just practicing my letters. And I love to do this stuff. Love it. And yeah, and my next tip for you is to focus on, tip number 8 is to focus on your slant and alignment of your letters. So a consistent slant is what's going to give your letters, your words, that signature look. And if I can grab, I'm just going to grab my planner here so I can show you a cluster of my words or my letters so you know what I mean. So if you look here, so in this section here, I have my writing, and this is just straight out of my planner. And what I have to show you is the slant and alignment of my letters. So when you have a consistent slant, it helps to make your lettering a lot more neater. So whether the slant is upright or to the side, if you can tell, mine kind of tilts to the right a little bit, and it just helps to keep things a lot more consistent when you're writing. And it gives your writing just a nice flow and a nice visual appeal to it. And I've always had this, and I like it. I like writing in that type of that slant and that flow. It just helps to give my writing character. So there's that. My next tip is to work on, tip number 9, work on letter size. So make sure that your letters are not too big or not too small. So what I mean by that is if you're in a regular space on a line, like a line paper, you want to make sure that as you're writing, your letters aren't too big for that space. Because if it is, it just looks a little bit odd, okay? What you want to do is you want to make sure that your letters match the lines that you're using, if you are using lines. And it just makes things look a little bit more cohesive and easier to read. That's something, as an English teacher, I tell my students all the time, because they also would like to practice their handwriting. And you want to make sure that your letters fit the space of the lines. It just looks neater and cleaner. So for me, although this is pretty, this is the desired look right here, just because you can see all the letters more clearly than when they are this big. It fits on the space of the lines, and it just makes it look a lot more easy. It just makes it look clearer and easier to read. And finally, tip number 10, which is probably the most important tip, and that is to be patient and to practice regularly. Take your time when it comes to handwriting. A lot of times people kick themselves in the foot, or they get frustrated with themselves because their handwriting isn't nice, especially in the planner community when we tend to compare ourselves to other people. And, I like her planner spreads and her handwriting, and you're on Instagram and you're looking and you're seeing how beautiful these planners are because handwriting is exquisite. I can think of some people I follow who have just exceptional handwriting, and I look at my own and I'm like, oh, goodness, like I wish it was better. But I don't think that way anymore. Improvement takes time, and practice makes progress. Not perfect, but progress. Practice makes progress. And so practice daily, even if it's just for 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes every day. With consistent effort, you'll start to notice better handwriting. So, just take your time. Just take your time when you write. Follow these tips and practice. Practice, practice, practice. Okay, so, when you're watching TV, instead of scrolling on your phone, take out a notepad, which is why I love notebooks for this purpose. Because if you look at the notebooks I have tons and tons of pages of me just scribbling and writing. And, that goes for handwriting too. I love to practice my handwriting. I love handwriting or writing in cursive. And I have different styles of handwriting that I do depending on the mood I'm in. And I'm okay with that. I love that. And, it just doesn't take much. Just like I said, 15 minutes a day, 10 to 15 minutes a day, and your handwriting will be yours in no time. And another thing I want to mention too, this is my bonus tip, is to, once you feel comfortable and confident with forming the letters, that you want, then you can start to add a little pizzazz to it. And that is something that I've done over the years. And so for me, what I like to do is I like to give my letters a little bit of a signature. So my F's, you'll notice, I like to give it a little zhuzh like that. And my G's, and what you see here is that I have kind of given my writing some character so that when I see this or when somebody sees this, it's like, oh yeah, that's Kat's writing. I can tell because of the way she does her Y's and her F's and her Q's. It just kind of gives it a little bit more personality. And so over time, when you're confident in your writing and you're confident and you've mastered the basics of developing your handwriting, then you can add these things to make your writing a lot more unique to you. And I love that process as well. So there you have it, my friends. I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching and for being here today. I love sharing these tips with you and ways that you can live a calmer life just very simply by practicing something as simple as your handwriting. I always found that practicing handwriting always brings me calm and joy. It's an activity that I did with my mom as a way just to relax, and we drank tea and we enjoyed, practicing our handwriting. That was some of my fondest memories, and even now, something I still do. So I highly encourage you, if you want to improve your handwriting, just take your time, practice, and you will get there, I promise you. So until the next video, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Take care, be well, be blessed. I'm looking outside here and it is a whiteout right now, but I'm so happy for this day. Grateful for you as well, and thank you so much for watching. Take care, my friends, and happy writing. Bye-bye for now.